We now turn to Maryland, where a judge is halting the sale of an apartment complex where advocates say there is evidence that the graves of formerly enslaved black people are buried underneath the apartment building's parking lot. The Bethesda African Cemetery Coalition filed a lawsuit this summer after the Montgomery County Housing Opportunities Commission planned to sell the $50 million complex to an investment firm. County Judge Carla Smith denied the dismissal of the lawsuit and granted a preliminary injunction. Moses Cemetery, which served as a burial for free black enslaved people and their descendants, were paved over during the construction of the apartments in the 1960s. A living descendant of the community says he recalls nearly 200 graves being there. Here to break it all down is president of the Bethesda African Cemetery Coalition, Marsha Coleman Adebayo. Welcome to the show, Marsha. Thank you so much for joining me. What specific evidence was found that proved that black graves were underneath this parking lot?
Well, to a large extent, we have oral history, of course. We have the oral history of members of the community who used to play in that cemetery. In Montgomery County in the 1940s and 50s, there was obviously segregation. Black students, young people could not go to the playground, could not access most of the recreational areas. And so where they would play is that they would play in the cemetery. They'd play among the tombstones. So that's one bit of information. We have maps, county, in fact, maps that actually demarcate the grave sites and the fact that there was a cemetery there. We have the deed to the land by White's Tabernacle number 39 of the brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of Moses that bought the land in 1911 in order to provide an area where Black people could be buried with dignity. The area that you're showing on TV right now is right next to the area that's under litigation. This is an area which was a mass grave. Right off of this area between mid 1700s and 1865, there were 4 plantations along the River Road corridor. The councilman, the shoemaker, the posy, and one other plantation. And when these Africans were either murdered or died or bled out in childbirth, their bodies were thrown in this mass grave. And so this is a very historic cemetery because it is a South cemetery. You have the original population of Africans who are coming to Bethesda, to River Road from the Songhai Kingdom, from the Kartem-Bornu Kingdom, from the Ghana Kingdom. They're being forced to grow tobacco and other crops on River Road. And when they are murdered or when they are raped to death, their bodies were thrown into this mass grave that you've just seen. There's another side of the cemetery which is under litigation, which was bought in 1911 by White's Tabernacle. And these were the descendants of the people who were buried, whose parents were enslaved. And they are buried right next to where their parents were buried.
It's stunning that, given all of that history, given how sacred a space this was, that it could be paved over in the first place. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not that mind-boggling because the Africans were not considered human. I mean, fundamentally, they were not considered human. They were chattel, and so when developers felt that they needed the land and they had the power to take the land to build an apartment building or to build a storage company, which is what they're building on the side that you saw the construction. For them, since Black life has had and has no significance, the question for them was, why not? We have the power, we have the money to do it. What's perhaps astounding is that they thought they would get away with it in 2021. And if it had not been for the people if it had not been for the community, if it had not been for the only institution that is left from what we call the Ma'afa, which is the Swahili word for the genocide, quite frankly, they would have gotten away with it this time as well. And I think the court is still out whether or not they'll get away with it. We have a preliminary injunction, but that doesn't mean that they still can't come back and either appeal the decision or still try to find a way of changing the judge or doing some extrajudicial exercise and still trying to take the land
Absolutely.
back. I mean, we don't own the land. The land is still owned by the Housing Opportunities Commission. It is our goal to have the land transferred from HOC to the only remaining Black institution, which is the church that stands about maybe, literally across the street from the cemetery.
I have to run. We have to take a break, but I have to ask you before we go, given the history of extrajudicial activity, given the opposition that you received so far, and given the deep history of racism and white supremacy that undergirds all of this, how optimistic are you that you'll permanently succeed in stopping this sale and turning this property over to the people who should have it?
What I'm confident in is that we are not going to stop fighting. That's what we can control. And I'm confident that the community will not stop fighting. I'm also confident that we have adversaries who are just as determined that Black people are not going to control land. Because at the end of the day, this is a struggle for land. This is a struggle for our identity as human beings. And so this is a struggle that we cannot lose. On a national level, on an international level, this is an important struggle for the entire country and for the international community. So I think we are in struggle. We are often in hand-to-hand combat with the police. We're the community that literally stopped trucks with our bodies and would not permit trucks to enter the cemetery, and they tried to run us over. So we have that kind of
Wow.
determination that we are not going to be defeated. And so
that kind
from
of
one
determination
generation
is the
to
only
the
thing.
next, we're going to fight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your story and for the fight, the vigorous fight to honor the dignity, the legacy, and the lives of our people. I believe we will be victorious, and we'll continue to keep this story covered.